and welcome back to Eindhoven Diving Cup 2019, of course in Eindhoven, where the girls B are preparing themselves to get ready for the competition from the platform. We got 8 divers, and all of them are going to do 7 rounds. And with this competition you can choose from which height you can dive. The lowest height of the platform is 5 meters, and the highest of course is 10. And within the competition you can choose of which height you can do your dive from. A little bit of explanation about the diving codes. During the competition you'll see codes on the 100 series, the 200 series, 300 series, 400 series, the 5000 series, and all of them have a different meaning. The 100 series is a forward dive, the 200 series is a backward dive, and the 300 series is a reverse dive. And here we can see Ida doing a forward dive, 1.5 somersault height.
5.5, 6.5, 6, 6, 4. Melissa, 5 meters.
Number 2, Melissa. And she's gonna do a front dive height. And as I said, this is a 100 series, so it's forward. The 300 series is a reverse, that's jumping forward but rotating backwards. And then you have the 400 series, that's an inward, that's jumping backward but rotating forward. And you have the 5000s, that's a twist. And Maud, she's gonna do the 400 series, so an inward dive height. A bit slow with her action in mid-air, but the entry is pretty good. A nice landing, a nice entry. A little bit far away from the platform, but still a reasonable good score for Maud. And then we have Julie. She's gonna do a forward dive height from 10 meters. A peculiar way of getting into her tuck, real slow, real easy, and you can see that here, instead of arching around her legs, she lifts her leg up to her body and then tries to move her body downwards. But a really nice entry, a nice rib landing, so that's why the judges gave them 6.5, 7. Then we have Pia. Forward 1.5 somersault height. In the air, nice pace in her somersault, but the landing should have been a bit cleaner.
6.5.
You see the way that she holds her hand during the entry isn't as strong as it should be. 6.5 for Pia. And then we go to Eva for 5 meters, 1.5 forward height. Nice dive, a little bit short with the entry, but and a little bit leaning towards the other side of the pool, so that's why the dive is a bit far away compared to the start of the dive. Then we have Claudia. She's gonna do a forward dive height. 6.5, 7 for Claudia. Erika Kiancaglini. 1.5 forward piked from 5 meters. She doesn't have a really high jump off, but the entry is really good, really clean, and that's something where the judges are impressed by.
Round 2, Ada. 5 meters.
Round 2, Aira. Back dive pike. Nice jump off, nice in the air. But when she lands, when she has her entry, her legs go over. You can see nice top, nice jump off. But when she dives in, her legs go over. And that's a pity because she had a nice beginning of the dive. In total, the girls do 7 rounds of dives, and now we're in round 2. Back dive straight, of somersault backward straight.
5, 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5.
It's a difficult dive to do technically good because you have to control your body the whole way and keep it in the correct tension in a straight position as well. So it's a hard dive to do. It looks easy, but still a hard dive to do. Alpha Campus 6.5 for her 1.5 forward piked. And then Julie, she's gonna make a back dive pike tucked for 7 meters. A bit careful when she jumps off the platform, but the entry is really good. And the judges might see that as well and give her extra points for that. As you can see, nice entry. Yeah, 6.5, 7, 6.5. The judges are a bit divided on that one, but still with an overall score of, missed that, but 7 and 6.5 is pretty good. Then Kia, 1.5 inward height. Nice dive by Pia. A bit heavy on the entry, but technically pretty good dive. And the judges will give bonus for the technicality in the air, but they will deduct points for the heavy landing, for the heavy entry. 6.5, 5.5. It's a good score for what she's done right now. Back dive pike by Eva in a tuck position. Ooh. I think she might have touched the platform a little bit. Not a hard, not a heavy touch, but still a little bit. And I think she thought it as well because you see her feet going flat and then pointed back out, and the judges have seen that as well. So 4.5 for her. Yeah, she's saying that to the coach that she might have touched the platform. Claudia Canta, 1.5 inward pike. Nice dive by Claudia Canta. Good jump off from the platform, nice height, nice pace of the somersault. Also really courageous of her to do an open pike instead of closed with the arms around the leg. She shows power to the judges, and the judges are impressed by it as well. 7s for her. Good dive. Erika does the same dive. from 7 meters. Nice dive. With the entry a little bit short, she might get like a half a point less than her country lady, also from Italy. Yeah, 6.5.
Round 3, Ada. 5 meters.
Then you can see after 2 rounds, Erika Kangiagi is first, Claudia Canta is second, with 4 points apart from them, and third is Pia, and she's trailing by 5. So it's a pretty close competition so far for the top 3. Everything can happen. And then you see Aida for round 3, a reverse dive tuck. Bit careful with the jump off, so she doesn't have that height that she needs to impress the judges or to make a clean entry. And you can see that with the entry came a bit short. And then Melissa van het Woud. It was the same dive, but piked, sorry. A little bit to the front, so away from the platform. She should have been a bit closer. Not too close, of course, because safety first. But this is a bit too far, and the judges won't score that really well. 4.5, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5. And the way it works with the judging, they got 5 scores for the judges. The highest and the lowest score will be scratched, and then a good average score will remain. They add that together and multiply with the difficulty, the dive difficulty, and then you have the score for 1 round. Back dive pike by Mout. It's not a bad score. 7, 6.5, 7. Then Julie Jacobsen from 10 meter, a reversed dive tucked. Aye. Nice jump off, pretty high. But when she comes in, when she lands, when she has an entry in the water, she doesn't attack the water, so there's not enough tension on her body to make a straight line into the water, so there's a rip. So now you see a lot of splash, and that's a bit too much to get a good score. Pia. Handstand Somersault. That's the 600 series. The direction I haven't told you about, the 600 series are handstands. She's showing a great handstand, showing that she controls the dive. And the entry is not bad. A little bit short, but the entry is not bad. Impressive that she could hold the handstand for so long and still control the dive, because there's a lot of strength and power going into the handstand to keep it so controlled. So to finish that dive that way is pretty impressive. Then we have Eva. Reverse pike tuck dive. Reverse dive tuck. And that is a little bit careful, and the entry isn't as clean. 4.5, 5.5. Then we have Claudia Canta from 7 meters. She has a powerful jump off, so she's not shy. She's not afraid of the dive. So she jumps off really high up the platform, but with that she has too much time, too much space to have a clean entry, so she goes over. That's too bad, because you can see that she's a skilled diver, a technical, good, strong diver, but for this one, a little bit too much power. And then Erika, handstand somersault height, showing that she can control the handstand with a nice rip landing. That's good. The reason why they are standing so long on their hands is that they have to show the judges they control the handstand, because you cannot just do the handstand and just flip over the platform and then dive in. You have to show the judges that you control the handstand, and then you can go. So that's why you always see that they will stand on their hands for like a second, maybe 2 seconds, and then they go. Then round number 4, Ida. Inward dive, height, nice dive, nice entry, nice technique with the open hands, open pikes.
Melissa, 5 meters.
6.5, 5.5. And then we have Alyssa. Also the same. A little bit far away from the platform.
4.5, 6, 5, 5, 5. Mount, 5 meters.
Then we have Maud. From 5 meters. First dive, hike. She goes a bit too far away from the platform. That causes her not to have enough speed to control the dive, to have enough rotation to have a clean entry. She comes a bit up short. You can see that in the splash. The splash goes away from the platform instead of straight up, or even better, a rip landing without any splash. And then Julie from 10 meters. Inward dive, tucked. Also, careful jump off from the 10 meter.
6, 6.
I think there should have been a little bit more power in the jump off, but the landing is not bad. It's a pretty clean landing. Comes a little bit short, but she places her hand on the water in the right way. That's why she can control the amount of splash, and that's why she still got like 5, 5.5, 6. Then Pia. Reverse dive pike from 10 meter. The beginning, the jump off was nice. A little bit to the front, so she a little bit away. She went a little bit away from the platform, but the way she jumped up, touched her toes, and came out was pretty good. Technically, pretty strong. Look, a lot of power in that. A gutsy jump off, so that's good. Sadly enough, she didn't place her hand on the water correct, so that's why you see a lot of splash. The entry wasn't clean. 1 4.5 and the other 6s, so still a good score for her. And then Ava, 1.5 inward, tucked.
Claudia, 7.5 meters.
Then Claudia, she's gonna do a handstand somersault pike, and she's gonna do the. Ooh, this is a little bit too fast with her handstand, and the judges might have seen it as well and might deduct a few points for that. You gotta stand at least for a second, a half a second, to show the judges that you control the handstand.
3.5, 4.5.
And you can see, yes, 4, 4.5. Yeah, she's showing that motion with her hand as well, that she went over too fast. She had to control the dive, handstand first before doing the dive. Then Erika, Reverse dive pike to 7 meters. She should have kicked her feet up a little bit harder so the rotation of the dive would have been a bit stronger, because now she comes out too fast and her feet are a little bit towards the other side of the pool, which makes her come up short. And then round number 5, and after 4 rounds we see Erica 1, Pia 2, and Claudia 3, and the number 1 and 2, so Erica and Pia are still close with each other, 3 points. Number 3 and 4, so Claudia Kanta and Eva Amland are 8 points apart from each other, so it's still a good close competition between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's a good battle going on there. And Ira scoring a 6.5, 5.5, 6, 6. And then Melissa. 1.5 forward, pike from 5 meters. Entry comes up short. A little bit too careful with the jump off with throwing her arms in to create this somersault speed. And the judges have seen the 2 4s, 1 3.5. Mouthmate does a handstand, and also she goes too fast into the water. She has a nice rip landing though. The entry was perfect. The rip entry was perfect. But as I said before, you gotta show the control in your handstand, at least 1 second of standing, and then you can go on. And she didn't show that, so that's why a 3.5, 4.5, and 3 5s. And then Julie Jacobson. 1.5 forward, tucked from 10 meters. Ooh, it's a bit over. You can see that with her jump off and the throw in the somersault, she's really fast, but she holds on to the somersault a bit too long, and when she comes out, it's impossible for her to control the dive and not going over, and not go over. Then Pia, last round she was second, and now she's gonna do 2.5 backward tucked. So she has to really look, spot, and see where she is in her somersault. Ooh, a bit leaning backwards, so the dive is a bit too far from too far away from the platform. And in the end, when the entry, I think she might have twisted a little bit. You can see that here on the slow motion, the replay. Yeah, when she enters the water, her legs are not in the correct tension, so it creates this little bit sloppy effect. And the judges seen that as well with a 4.5 and a 5. Then Eva Amland. Number 4 in the last round. 2.5 forward tucked. There's a pretty fast run up, but the entry comes up short, and she will lose a few points towards the number 3 because she was really close to the number 3, and now she has to be careful for the number 5. 3.5, 2.5, and 3 3s. Then Claudia had a strong beginning of the competition, but the last 2 rounds were a little bit sloppy. With a 2.5 forward pike, it's not a bad dive, but still the entry could have been cleaner.
6 5 5 5 4.
6 5 5 4. It moves her up to place number 2, but it's still not the end of the round. So Now we see Erika with 1.5 forward full twist. Nice technique with a twist. Keeps her body in great tension, so the core is really good, and it makes the twisting much easier, because if there's not enough tension in the core, you get that spaghetti-shaped, floppy kind of twisting, and it will wobble all over the place, and that's not aesthetically not good to look at. So nice technique on the twist. Then Aira in round number 6, 2.5 forward pike.
5, 4.5, 5, 4.5.
Has a nice deep pike, but the entry is way too heavy to get like a 6 or a 6.5. So 5, 5, 4.5, 5, 4.5 for Aira. Then we have Melissa van het Woud. Handstand somersault, first show the handstand, and also here a little bit too short with the timing. She did show control with the way she put the handstand, the way she led up the handstand, set up the handstand, but still it should have been a longer handstand in a straight position. 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 4, 5.5. And then we have Maud. One and a half inward tucked. A little bit away from the platform, but still the entry was clean. A little bit short, but definitely not a bad dive. A pretty good dive, a decent dive. Let's see if she gets decent score for that dive. Yes, 6. Almost all the judges 6.5, except for one 5.5. Julie, she'll make a 1.5 inward in a tuck position. With her forward 1.5, she went a bit over, so now it's important for her to open up the dive exactly at the right moment. Yes, she's learned from her last round, but now her entry isn't as clean. She didn't place her hand on the water as good as she should have had. And because of all the splash, all the water that comes up, she will get points deducted, and you can see 5, 5, 5, 4, 4.5. Then Pia. In the last round she was number 1. Let's see if she can keep her number 1 position with this dive. 1.5, 2.5 inward height. Ooh, it's a hard dive, even from the 10 meters where you got a lot of time to get the opportunity to create a great landing. But in pike position is really hard. She didn't have enough power in the somersault motion, so the speed wasn't that fast enough to create a good opportunity to have enough space and time on the bottom with the entry. And I think she might lose a few points towards number 2 Italian Erika Caglianini. But here with Eva Ameland, a double inward from 5 meters is a dive or a landing that you don't see often, because with diving most of the entries are head first, but she does a feet landing first, and that's also allowed. 4, 4, 4.5, 3, 4.5, 4. And then Claudia. Previously, in the previous round, she was standing number 3 in the competition. Let's see if she can hold that position, or maybe even attack number 2. Ooh, nice jump off by Claudia. really nice speed in her somersault, but when she has to come out, she misses the spot moment, misses the moment that she has to come out, and that causes her to go over with the entry. And that's a waste of the dive, because the top in the air, mid-air, was really perfect. Technically really good executed. Only the landing is the only little problem of the whole dive. Then Erika. 2.5 forward pike. Comes up a bit short.
6.5.
But we'll have to see if she scores enough to pass Pia and knock her off the number 1 position. Yes, as you can see, she is now number 1. So she had a good score with her 2.5 forward pike. And then Eira in the last round of the competition. She'll do 1.5 inward tucked. A little bit close to the platform, but still a decent entry. The thing that we always say with diving, rather be safe than sorry. So in my opinion, she could have been a little bit farther away, but still a decent entry. Not too much splash. Let's see what the judges give her. 5.5. No, it's just a good score for her. And right now she has 209 points. Then Melissa. 1.5 backward with a half twist. A careful lead up, jump off. Careful setup. Maybe could have shown a little bit more power, so the entry wasn't a bit short. But still, not a lot of splash, so she controlled the damage in that way. 5.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. And then we have Maud. She will end her competition with a 2.5 forward tucked. Well, with the run to the platform, she had pretty good speed in the beginning, of a good pace in her somersault, but she comes out a bit too early, and that causes her to come up short. And that's a waste, because the beginning was pretty good. All the judges gave her a 4. And currently standing number 3, but we still got 5 other divers to go, so not sure if she will keep that position. And then Julie Jacobsen. She's the only one who's done all of her program from a 10 meter. Does a handstand somersault, but also doesn't stand long enough to get like high scores. You have to stand like for a full second on a 10 meter when you do a handstand, and that's not something that she showed the judges, and the judges will deduct a few points for that. 3.5, 4, 4.5, 3.5, 4. And then Pia was standing number 1 throughout the whole competition, except for the last round. She's standing number 2 now, but she has to make a killer dive to get that position back. 2.5 forward pike. A really nice entry. Sadly enough, the difficulty degree of the dive is just 2.4, so she really has to get good scores to make Erika Chiancaglini sweat for the first place. Let's see what she's got. 2.48, and currently standing number 1. Eva did a handstand somersault. Scores 5 for that. And then Claudia. Does a 1.5 backward with 1.5 twist. Free position. Let's see if she can maintain the technical excellence of her. Yes, she did. It's good to see that within the twisting she still keeps a tension on her body with the core, so the twisting is easier to do, and it's especially important when you do 1.5 twist. She's a bit early with the takeoff and into the twist from the platform, but still controls it very well. 7, 6.5, 6, 6, 5.5. It's a good way to end the competition for her, and is currently number 2. Then came close to Pia. Then Erika, 2.5 inward tucked from 7 meters. Nice tucked. Comes out a bit too early. She tries to do it through a pike motion, but should have waited a tad bit longer, but not a bad landing of her. And with 272, she's still number 1 and won this competition. So number 1 is with 272 points, 90, Erika Caglini. Number 2, Pia Tveit-Sletten with 248. And number 3, Claudia Canta, 241. Well, I hope you enjoyed this competition. It was a nice competition to watch. And today we have more diving. And we have girls A3 meters. You can see in the background the girls A3 meters are already preparing for their competition. It's gonna be a nice competition with 17 divers, so it's gonna be an interesting competition. I think that the scores there will be close as well. So grab a drink or get something to eat, and we'll see you back in a few minutes.